Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at RIP default routing. The cool thing about RIP, like OSPF, it can do what they refer to as a default information originate, which basically propagates a default route that is advertised through the RIP process to the rest of the network. Or we can do a redistribute static, depending on the situation that you want to propagate. If you have a more specific path, stuff like that, you can use a redistribute static command to say, you know what, you're pointing a particular for a particular destination. You want to point that traffic out to a certain exit point in the network. You can do that as well. And as soon as the traffic hits that particular router, it'll look at the static route and take that route out to the wherever it's got to go. So we're going to take a look at how you would do the default information originate. It's actually really easy to do. We're going to go ahead and take a look at exactly how that works. And we're going to do this on R11 to say, you know what, use me to get to anywhere else. So we're going to pull up our topology, and on R11, we're going to go here and all. Give that a second to finish doing its debugging. And R11, we're going to go to global config, router RIP. And just as a double check real quick, we're going to go to R13 and do a show IP route. And we have no default route present. Go back to R11, and we're going to type in default -- information originate and hit the enter key. We go over to R13, we hit the up arrow, and now we have a default route. And you can see it came in right away. That's my gateway of last resort, meaning if I don't have a longer match in the routing table, go ahead and propagate this guy out to the rest of the network, and you're going to propagate it with an AD value of 120. So this means if I was on R13, I do a trace route to 8.8.8.8, numerically, I'm going to point myself to R11, and I'm going to point it out there, but if R11 gets the route, and we do a do show IP route, there actually is no 8.8.8 interface here, so therefore it doesn't know what to do with it, so it drops the traffic. So that's basically how you would accomplish that. The same thing in RIP NG can be done. If we type in IPv6 router RIP CCNP, we do a question mark, we type in default, is it this way? I actually, you know what, I think it's underneath the interface. Interface fast ethernet 0/0.113, and then IP RIP, or no, I'm sorry, it is IPv6 RIP CCNP default information originate. In this particular case here, you can advertise only the default route or originate the default. So we're going to type in originate and hit the enter key. And then on R13, if we were to do a show IPv6 route, we would see we should have a default route propagated here momentarily. And there it is. So we have the default route coming in, and that's how you would get to where you got to go. So this right here means default route. On our other command here, anytime you see the star, this is what they refer to as a candidate default, which typically means that a engineer or an administrator or some sort of network operations person went in and actually configured the default route to come through. Whether it's a default information originate or a redistribute static or what have you, that's how you would go about doing that. So that's basically at the end of the day, that's how you would get accomplish this goal, and pretty much the basic breakdown to how you would handle that. That's pretty much it, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you in the next video.